really chilly. How many people are on YouTube? Well, that's it. Hey, y'all. Hey, all right. We should be live. I don't see no video. There we go. See it now. Hey, y'all. Spiritman Joseph Tittel here. Be sure to subscribe down below to my YouTube. Click the bell, click the all so that you get notifications for live events and things like that. You can find more information about all my social media platforms and everything down below in the description. And I am grateful for all of my people. You are my people. I'm grateful for those who have sent donations through the PayPal link down below. People that do their chat cash. You are very loved and appreciated, as well as my Patreons on the Patreon community, which is getting a facelift and changes come spring equinox. But right now, we are in Mercury retrograde, as you know, as you should know. I haven't been here for a while because, as you also probably know, they actually suspended me like I was in high school. I got suspended from YT for a video. So now I have to be very careful on what I post and what I put and be short. But they took me off, and then the past week I've been getting gardens ready and went sabbatical. Second week of my suspension. Folks, this suppression of speech is not good. Like, you should be worried. This should concern you. This should all concern you. But anyway, I'm here live from Sedona, Arizona. I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about the weather and about the crazy things that are going on. My phone's in the car. Damn. My phone in the car. But I'm still connected, so that's good. I hope nobody comes and I have to move my car. I'm parked with no parking. Well, not no parking. It's just people don't know how to park around here. Anyway, so I wanted to come to you and give you a little bit about weather, what's going on, because the energy during this retrograde and energy shift, and we are still in that energy shift retrograde till like March 9th, all the way up to close to the post shadow towards the spring equinox. And when we're in this cycle and when we go into the intensity of the cycle, so we came out of it the most intensity on the 11th. But we have, and that was a significant number, number 11 master number, as we have coming up on the 22nd. Then we have the full moon coming up at the end of the month on the 27th. All of this has been greatly affecting the weather patterns. But that's not the only thing. You remember me talking about the trails that they spray and how they admit to doing it. And the head of the CIA was on C-SPAN talking about why they do it for the global warming, as they claim. And now all of a sudden we're seeing snow and cold in places that we don't see, like up where I'm up here. I mean, getting as much snow as we got. That's not global warming, folks. That's weather, climate shift. It's everything shifting. Doesn't mean the whole planet's going to be warm. Certain places are going to get cold, and we see this. We see this down in Texas. See this I talked about this in my predictions. I talked about it in the past videos. They were spraying like I've never seen so much spraying done before. And you all said that in your comments. You all saw the same thing going on. I haven't seen it so much in the past week or so. But look at the weather patterns and how much they shifted after they started spraying like crazy. The cold, especially in the United States and in other countries as well. So something I wanted to bring up as a point today to reconnect again to all y'all. I love and support. Love you for your support. Duh, I can talk. And everything else that you do. So a couple things that came up with weather predictions. My notepad closed. There we go. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the chemtrails and the effects and how weather modification is obvious. I'm sitting here in Arizona, Sedona, and I'm freezing right now. It's like cold. It was snowing coming down here. This is something else I thought was interesting. It was snowing up where I live, and you see how beautiful and clear the sky is. The sky's clear. There's a couple fluffy clouds. It's about it. I mean, if you look that way, the sky's clear. I'm like, it just doesn't look right. It looks weird. The snow looks weird. And I'm driving, and it's completely clear, like you see. And it's snowing. It's weird. Just, again, these are things. Is it snow, or is it residue left over from the crap that they put down upon us? We talked about the Japan earthquake, and I mentioned that in my predictions for January 1st of this year. And Japan, as I was alerted by y'all that your comments and such, Japan got quite an earthquake. Well, there's more to come with that. So, Fukushima, they were lucky not to get a tsunami again, but tsunami season's here, folks. Tsunami season's here. I've been feeling this for a while. You've all been having dreams about it, waves, things like that. That is the weather getting more and more rough. This year, the record breaking when it comes to weather patterns is going to be insanity. As we're seeing again right now down along the borders of Mexico and how it's freezing cold and immigrants are freezing to death. Power outages, I mentioned that. I mentioned major power outages, and there were Italy, all of Italy, where else? Iran, I forget where else. I'm going to have to go in my car in a minute. It's freezing. And from what I just heard, because I have been unplugged and haven't really paid attention, but from what I just heard from y'all and your comments, there's been major power outages all throughout. That's going to continue, folks. It's going to continue to the point where we're going to see a whole coastline completely, totally powerless, like the whole West Coast side or the whole Southwest off the grid for a while. This is going to happen more and more as the year progresses. Some of this will be weather related, or they'll make it look weather related, which takes me to the subject of seeing huge mudslides. And I saw that in India in my 2021 predictions, which came to pass. But I keep seeing, again, huge mudslide events taking place. Again, in India, the Middle East and Middle Eastern countries, where I see, I gotta go in the car, it's freezing out. Where you see, into the car, sorry. It's like standing on that hill is cold. So yeah, we see that. Lost my train of thought. Mudslide events, huge mudslide events, Middle East, but I saw like refugee camps being affected by this and refugee camps being washed away by the waters. I don't know if this is Syria, but definitely areas of the Middle East. We're going to see one of the largest volcanic eruptions since probably going back to maybe Mount St. Helens. That's what popped in my head. That goes back to, what was that, the 80s or something when that happened? But that's what popped in my head, Mount St. Helens. Perhaps the vision itself could actually be related to Mount St. Helens herself and her actually having an earthquake. Or, I mean, yeah, well, it would bring earthquakes too, because that is actually part of their torrential rains causing floods, flash floods, many deaths, especially in California, the state of Washington. Going back to Japan getting hit really hard with weather this year, and along with India. They're going to be two of the most hit, along with China, with weather patterns. That's why hurricane season going into that, it's going to be huge this year as well. And I see 3 huge hurricanes, more related, I guess, to the United States. 3, one being very connected to the Virgin Islands in the United States, of course, to that area. I also saw a storm close, either really close borderline or actually completely out of the season for hurricanes. So we're going to see a shift take place and occur in the periods that we call seasons related to hurricane season or tornado season, and so forth. So that's all going to shift and change, and we're going to see a major shift with that this year, with things happening sooner or happening even later. And again, California being victim to big floods, but droughts as well. So Texas again was hit by the cold and is being hit really hard right now, and all along the Mexican border. Another thing that came to me was major flooding that occurs. So there's droughts, and this is going to happen often, like California, Texas, India, and again, parts of China and different areas where droughts are taking in really, really strong. And the droughts are going to lead to torrential floods, whether it be hurricane or whether it be monsoons or whatever other major weather systems come into these droughted areas and really put damage. That's where I see the mudslides
and a record breaker this year. So somehow or another, I'm sure we could check this at the end of the year, a record-breaking year when it comes to mudslides and things eroding, beach erosion, including in Australia. There's going to be major beach erosion along the Caribbean islands and one particular island out of them all. I don't have the map in front of me, and I should actually bring the map up in front of me. Let me bring the map up in front of me, yo. I hope you're all doing fabulous. I missed y'all. Missed you all lots. Lots and lots. Let me find my map. I just pulled it up too. My map. Wah. Where'd it go? There it is. My map. Yes. Okay, so we're talking about hurricane season. And I saw something really major being hit off the coast of Texas. So looking at this, I'm thinking, of course, it would have to come in through the Gulf of Mexico. But as I go back, shrink down map. What are your deal? Let's see. So down here in Texas, we've got Texas right along this border. So in my predictions, and something that came to me in a vision today was a major storm, major winds and floods, rains coming in off the coast of Texas, which would have to come over here. But as I look at the map and I look at it closer, I'm thinking more likely of something traveling right over top, kind of diagonally through Honduras, Jamaica, kind of hitting through there. That's my vibe now. I don't have a dateline for that, but that's one of the visions that came to me today. With flood activity, again, we'll see that over in Japan. We're also going to see major issues when it comes to the country of Australia. I didn't want to go to Venezuela, sorry. I didn't want Venezuela. I wanted to go up here to this area. So United Kingdom, Ireland, all being battered by storms coming up, especially towards the end of the summer and the early fall months. But they also may be getting hit really hard with winter storms coming up in the very near future, sometime in March, right around spring equinox. So we'll look for that in the area of storms and winter storms really hitting hard. And right, like straight across here, or a diagonal, hitting Ireland, United Kingdom, this whole area, and maybe even edge of Norway. Something very big, huge, record-breaking, lots of record-breaking things. And again, floods. And I had this last year, late last year, in one of my prediction videos. I talked about the big waves coming in. And then my students, my apprentices, and a group of us got together and we did the shamanic journey on it, which I never got to post because it's still on my Mac computer, which crashed, and I have to drive 2 hours to get it fixed and just haven't done that yet. But we talked about waves coming in our shamanic journey. All our journeys led up with each other, with the animals and such. And seeing a big wave come in, thinking more towards, I think we were saying more South Africa, but I believe it was coming in the right corner of it and hitting that. So that comes in even stronger now as I'm talking about waters and things with waters levees breaking this year. This is going to be a huge year when it comes to waters and a combination of droughts as well. This is going to alert and bring off volcanic activity, including what I said, a volcanic activity that breaks records like Mount St. Helens. Likely that Mount St. Helens may be one of them that comes up and begins to awaken. More earthquakes when it comes to Hawaii. And I remember a few years back when I actually predicted the big volcano in Hawaii, I talked about the land shifting and how that's the center, spirit showing that's the center of the earth. That's the center of the divine. It's like the heaven. And so there's a lot of activity because as the earth's starting to shift, and the poles are slowly shifting every year by a certain percentage that they don't tell you about. And that's where climate change is coming into play. That's kind of basically what's happening. So, excuse me, I was out in the cold. My nose is running. I better catch it before it gets away. No. So yeah, let me go back and see if there was what else I had visions of. Problems with the Philippines around weather, including earthquakes, mudslides, and again, more like avalanches. I see a lot of land giving way. Lots of it. Like, again, some of it looks like erosion to me. Large chunks that look like even icebergs, in the Arctic or Antarctic, cracking off. I see this with land cracking off, going into the oceans. Some of this, again, as I'm telling you this, there's visions of volcano. So part of what I'm seeing going partially into the waters is related to a volcano. But it literally looks like a whole iceberg, but coming off the side of the earth and flowing into the ocean, causing big waves. So a lot of this is happening this year. I don't know. We were just talking about the Philippines, so I don't know if that has anything to do with the Philippines, but as I'm telling you, that's the visions that I'm having. So many problems out of India. And with India, sadly, it's not just in the way of droughts, food shortages, which is another big thing we're going to see that I've been talking about for a year now. Food shortages, more droughts, basically as if they're using their modification to make people starve people out. I mean, if you can control the weather, you control the world. That's what they say. One of the presidents said that. Somebody said that way back decades ago. It's kind of true. So food shortages and floods and such in India, but I see a whole political upheaval happening in India as well. So that'll be interesting. And I will be doing a part 3 to my yearly predictions with more stuff related to that and whatever else comes along. That'll be only live for my Patreon supporters. I believe on the 22nd, and then it'll end up on YouTube sometime probably by the end of the month. So just keep an eye out for that. And remember, be sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell, click the all. Find me on social media platforms. So Matt, talk about volcanoes and earthquakes. Italy came to me a lot. Italy and the whole area around Italy. So let me go back to my map. Let's see if I can find it. This map kind of stinks. Oh, there's Korea, no? So Italy and the surrounding areas of Italy. I don't know why I can't find it. There it is. Italy. So let me pull that map up and share this view of this map with you. Because I like to do map scrying, which is basically the same as scrying into a crystal ball or a black piece of obsidian like Nostradamus did and such. Map scrying is similar. That's how I get a lot of information about certain areas. That's why I like to bring up the map while I'm talking to you. So Italy. So I got a lot of activity within Italy. And what else came to me? Hold on, I wrote it down in my notes, y'all. I wrote it down in my notes. Excuse me for my cold nose. What's it called? Peely, Mount Peely. Kept popping in my mind. And I kept having visions that go back to an old story about that area. I don't know if it was Mount Peely, whatever. But there was a story about that, and how they all got wiped out thousands of years ago. But that pops up in my mind. So it's got to be that area, and the area that they made movies about that, going back to the thousands of years ago, to the Greek or Roman time period, whatever that was. So Italy, which brings into mind both Greece, even Romania, but Turkey pops up in my mind pretty strongly as well, as I'm talking about that, directly across from each other and the in-between. So Italy, Greece, and Turkey. But Turkey is bigger, and it just jumps out in my mind as being bigger, not just because it's obviously a bigger country, but it's bigger, meaning a bigger earthquake taking place. And I feel like this will be a rolling effect, a triple rolling effect. And part of this will bring up some type of volcanic activity in this area of the map. Germany, another story with that. That'll be in my other predictions. Germany's definitely got their struggles coming ahead, which means that they probably do in the area of weather too. But when I go to Germany, in my mind, I think it's freezing cold. I feel like it's cold, which sure it is this time of year, but I just feel like it's cold, colder than normal. Can't get warm. It's cold, can't get warm. So fire keeps coming to my mind. I want to burn a fire, can't get warm. So So there are some of the things that I wanted to catch you up with. Just make sure that I didn't miss anything. Torrential rains causing floods. I told you that. Huge storm coming in off the coast. That would be the Texas thing. 3 big hurricanes. Talk to you about that. Texas hit by cold. Yeah, I think I covered everything that popped up in my mind that I wanted to share with you with some new weather predictions, things with the weather. So folks, stay warm because it's certainly cold pretty much everywhere, colder than normal. Be prepared. Oh, a very late winter storm. That's another thing that I forgot to write down in my notes. And I remembered that popped in today. Very late winter storms. I mean, like getting blanketed in a foot or 2 or 3 feet of snow when, again, we think we're out of season. So I'm thinking like Easter, right after Easter. I forget what date Easter is this year. I think it's the first weekend of April, actually. But it makes me think of Easter. And I remember it snowing Easter when I was a kid. But I'm also thinking April, and I'm thinking spring equinox is March 20th. So it would have to be after March 20th. So big, huge storms, plural. So now I see storms, plural, and several clouds coming in different areas. So this doesn't just include United States. This includes areas that I already probably talked about and showed you on the map. Oh, darn. I forgot to take you off the map. My bad. Forgot to take you off the map. So yeah, so I see 3 clouds coming in, big storms coming in. And again, blanketing areas in ice, snow, power outages again. And I feel like this is late. So it would have to be very end of March, more likely April. But when I say that, I see 3 different storms rolling in different parts of the globe. So United States would just be one of those areas. Maybe even 3 storms coming into the United States, but I'm thinking again going up to the UK, England, and all those areas I talked about earlier. So with that, my dear friends, I love you all and thank you for your love and support. And I'll be back soon with more stuff, more information. I'm trying to keep on the down low because, I don't want to feel like I'm in high school and get suspended again. Then I'll be locked out for a month. We don't need any more strikes. It's not fair. It's not cool, but it is what it is. There ain't nothing we can do about it right now until we begin to stand up and speak for each other and speak together and fight. I say, rise up, Americans. Rise up, humanity. Rise up. Wake up and rise up. It is time to wake up and rise up. So until the next time, thank you for your chat cash. Anybody that did that, I wasn't watching. And people, again, that send donations through YouTube or through PayPal, and follow my links down below. My Patrons, all of my supporters, all my peeps. I love you so deeply and dearly. I'm off to chat for a few with my Patreon people on my Patreon platform. Until the next time, remember, celebrate life, celebrate you, celebrate the amazing blessings and miracles, the abundance, joy, and happiness that flow into your life daily. Because when you do, the universe will reward you with more blessings and miracles, abundance, joy, and happiness. The more we complain, the more the universe is going to give you to complain about. So celebrate life, celebrate you, and have a great evening or day. Namaste. And thank you, Lori. Boom. Boom.